So how did it all start and end for Bob Diamond? In 1977, he joined Morgan Stanley. He started out as a bond trader where he rose fast. Diamond then jumped ship to Credit Suisse. By 1992, he was running its Asian operation. In 1996, Barclays came calling and Diamond joined its stockbroking arm. The Barcap unit was responsible for a large chunk of profits for Barclays, raising Diamond's profile. In 2007, he took home a pay packet worth £27 million. After building a successful investment banking unit, the top job was inevitable, and he became the chief executive of Barclays in January last year, earning more than £20 million in salary, bonuses and share options. Diamond's reported to have a personal wealth of over £100 million. Well, Barclays chairman Marcus Agius, who'll be the next one to go, is in due course said the search for Diamond's replacement has begun.
We're going to move quickly in our search for a new chief executive and, in due course, a new chairman in order to bring certainty to this seemingly most uncertain of times. But we're not going to compromise on quality. We will ensure that we get the right person for the job.
Let's talk leadership strategy next. Claire Arnold is the co-founder of Maxxim Consulting. Hi, Claire.
Hello,
Thanks for
Mark.
joining us today.
Thank you.
What qualities does the next chief executive officer of Barclays have to have?
I think it's really important that this person has a real understanding of how to turn around a big business and an understanding of how to integrate a business, actually, because one of the most interesting things that Mr. Diamond said yesterday was this word franchise, the notion that he sees Barclays as a franchise, when I think a lot of us who might have mortgages or loans for cars or just observers see Barclays as a global business, and we would be unhappy at the notion that a franchise with quite a small number of quite loose rules would be the way that a big financial services business would be run.
He or she will
Yes.
be under immense pressure because the politicians are calling for a broad scope of change, not just for Barclays, but for the entire banking industry, aren't they? I mean, Chancellor Osborne is talking about changing the culture.
Exactly.
How do you advise a chief executive to achieve something of such magnitude, changing the culture of an industry? We're talking about a bank here.
Well, we are.
Too.
And of course, what we're talking about here is a bank within, as you say, an industry. And the big issue for Barclays, I think, is twofold. It's not just about two jobs. It's about the whole nature of the way the corporation works. What is the role and accountability of the corporate centre, that team at the centre of the organisation, and how do they set the tone for culture? And you know, lots of people think culture is all the nice fuzzy bits.
But it starts with the CEO and ends with the CEO, doesn't it?
It starts and ends with the CEO and the central team.
Right.
Because I think this is where there's a real challenge for Barclays, and an opportunity, because they have more than one post to fill. Actually, it's about what you get praised for and what you get told off for in an organisation. That's really what culture is about. And so this new CEO needs to be somebody who can pull things together and say, actually, it's not just about the short-term win. It's not just about your team in your little pocket of this organisation feeling they've had a great day. It's about Barclays united and actually really playing as a team. And of course, the trick and the difficulty, the big question, I think, for them is this inside or outside financial services, this appointment. Yeah. Because Barclays is not alone in having that kind of short-term winning culture in financial services. And it's very difficult to come in from the outside, but it could be something that's necessary in this circumstance.
It's incredible, isn't it? What other challenges? You've talked about the need to deal with internal issues and external issues. Only one would be big enough for most CEOs. What are the other great challenges that the next CEO faces?
The other great challenge is the challenge of re-establishing this brand as a focus of trust, isn't it? Not just with the public, or the public is extraordinarily important, with corporate customers, and of course with the government and with the bank.
How do you do that?
I think you do it by doing a decent job on a day-to-day basis and not making too much of a show about just getting it right, actually. Because
retaining and regaining the image, it's very difficult, isn't it? Losing an image can happen in a second.
Exactly.
Gaining an image,
well,
as you know, takes a long, long time. Do you think Barclays' reputation is reparable in the short term, or is this a long slog sort of thing
I
now?
think it's, broadly speaking, a long slog.
Yeah.
You know, the notion of leadership as something to... There's a huge importance in inspiration, isn't there, in leadership?
Yeah.
But there's also the underplayed notion of doggedness, actually, that if you are going to turn around a big organisation and really make it different, both on the outside and the inside, there's a lot of slog.
There is a lot of slog. In the first 100 days, I know you say are key, aren't they?
The first 100 days are key.
Are they always key?
They are always key, because it's about how you attract people inside to your team, because leaders need people to follow them, don't they?
Yeah.
You can't just be a leader by yourself. And if you look at the world of football, football managers change all the time.
Yeah,
and
they do.
actually, which is the team in the Premiership that's done the best overall? The one with the manager,
Who's
Alex
been there the
Ferguson,
longest.
who's been there the longest.
Yeah.
So actually, there is a real deal to do with the first 100 days, bringing people on side and actually winning one or two sensible, small achievements, so that you can say this would be a good way of doing it, and then
as
take
someone
it forward
that's
from there.
dealt with a lot of chief executives, it's lost a chief operating officer, a chairman, sort of, and a chief executive. Does that make it more difficult that the top three have gone, or is a clean sweep, a clean change of things a good thing for starting afresh?
You have to see it as an opportunity, don't you? Because it is the way it is. I think it's clear they didn't plan this. It isn't the scenario they wanted, so they clearly weren't thinking as a team. So now, if they are going to think of a team, having more new people is probably better.
Was there a lack of planning? That's what many have said. I mean, should there be another CEO lined up already?
Well, I think if you... CEOs do come and go,
yeah,
and it's a hard thing for a board to find a new CEO. I think they just have to say this is a golden opportunity. We could be the leaders first out of this.
Claire, thank you very much. Claire Arnold there, co-founder of Maxxim Consulting. Now, Christine Lagarde